on this episode of Quest for the Bass Slam. Hi everyone, I'm Drew Haerer. And I'm Bill Kohls. Welcome to this episode of Quest for the Bass Slam. Today it's day 2 in the Flint River, here chasing shoal bass. For the first time I think all trip the weather's kind of cooperating. Not a lot of wind, it's sunny, no rain, so hopefully we can get a few shoal bass on this gorgeous river and hit our minimum length requirements, catch a few keepers, have a lot of fun, get a lot of footage, and heck, maybe even go for a swim. So we just arrived at the Flint and we were ready for day 1 of 2. You know, we've been traveling a ton, sleeping on couches. We're pretty exhausted, we hadn't been sleeping much. But every time we pull up a new river, we kind of got an extra breath of life and got excited again. And the Flint was definitely no different. It looked amazing. No sooner do we get to the bottom of the ramp than Bill looks over and in the water he spies a turtle. And the cool thing about this turtle was that it was white and really unlike any turtle we'd ever seen before. And we were just hoping it was a good sign and that maybe it was an omen that we'd be catching a bunch of shoal bass. Almost right off the bat in the lower Flint, we hooked into a couple of small shoalies. We found a little pocket, we set up there, and sure enough, it started producing. Today is 1 of 2 here on the Flint River. As we said before, it's one of the world famous places to catch a shoal bass, probably the most famous. We got a couple small ones here and there today, and finally got my first good size Flint River shoalie, 15 3/4 inches. This will qualify me for the Bass Slam from BASS. However, it's a 1/4 inch short of the slam I need for river bassing. I guess we just have to keep fishing. And keep fishing is exactly what we did, and sure enough, it didn't take Bill long to hook up with another shoalie from the exact same spot.
Just within a couple casts of Drews, hooked into a nice shoalie. Looks like it'll be the bass required length that I need, and we'll keep trying to go at them.
Bill then got one of those bites where you set the hook and hold on.
Drew, get the net. Run. Dude, my reel's busted. What is that? Oh, bowfin.
I can't hear.
It's a bowfin.
Oh, shit. God,
that looked like an 8-pound. That looked like an 8-pound shoalie.
Did you remember it?
Hey guys, switched baits to a little crawfish imitator rebel. Hooked into a monster fish I thought was a huge shoalie, ends up being a bowfin. We've been messing with it for about 10 minutes. Let's see if I can get him. Probably about 8 pounds. No, maybe 5. Alright guys, so we got the hook out of the bowfin. As you guys can see, it's definitely an odd species of fish in general. Very long, slender body. It's basically got a super long dorsal fin that almost connects to this enormous paddle tail. That's what really gives them kind of their known ability to thrash around and wreck your baits, wreck your rods, so be careful when you're out here. Thought it was a huge shoalie. I thought it was like a 6-pounder yelling at Drew to come grab the net, but we'll try to get this thing released without it running into anything.
You know, we were excited over our hot start. The late morning had been great to us, catching a lot of fish, a lot of shoal bass. You know, then the mid-afternoon came and the bite just kind of died. And as it often does, the afternoon lull kind of kicked our butt. It was starting to get hot. You know, thankfully we found a couple largemouths like these to keep us occupied. And we kind of started to play around with a bunch of new techniques and some different looking areas. But we really kind of felt the wrath of the lower Flint, which can be famous for, you know, being a really tough fishery if you're not familiar with it. This actually kind of ended up being one of the highlights of the afternoon. Now, Bill just took a quick break to retie his line, throws out another cast, and hooks up with another largemouth. And other than working on some techniques with the drop shot rig and hooking a few more smaller shoal bass, we really didn't have a whole lot happening for us, and we're kind of ready for that evening bite to come and hope that the bite would pick up again. But as I mentioned, we did a little bit of playing around with different lures. Some we didn't know as well as others, some we're kind of trying to perfect. And for me, the drop shot is one of those baits, I'm still working at getting better and better with. And in clear water like the lower Flint, you can drop it down there and really watch what it does and watch what every little movement of your rod is doing to the bait, and you can learn a lot that way. Thankfully, it eventually started to cool down, and we didn't get it all on camera, but let's just say that the fishing heated up. So it's getting toward the end of day one on the Flint. It's been an interesting day. We started off red hot, got a bunch of bites. Had a couple of fish that were just short of the river bass requirement, a bunch that made the bass requirement. Just fighting and fighting for that 16-inch shoalie. It doesn't sound like much, a lot of the time 16-inch fish isn't huge. Today it definitely was, and we have maybe an hour and a half of daylight left, and finally throwing a black buzzbait, which is one of my favorite baits for everything. And I know it's a favorite of shoalie fishermen. I got this guy. He went just a little bit over 16 inches. Nailed it right in the middle of the channel, and I'm glad I made this paddle down here. I wasn't going to. It paid off. So tomorrow I can just relax, have fun, and hope Bill will catch his. Let's let this guy go. As always, practice CPR, especially on these shoal bass. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about the Shoal Bass Alliance and the awesome work they're doing. It's a really special fish. Like I mentioned, I caught that fish on a buzzbait, and as the sun set on the Flint, the buzzbait bite really started to pick up. Buzzbait. For whatever reason, I hear a lot of people say and read a lot of places online that folks don't like to throw the buzzbait. It's one of my favorite techniques. I love it, and it can be super exciting and effective. And really, my case is loaded with two types of baits. One is a really loud, kind of aggressive buzzbait called the Chatterbuzz from R&S Baits, and the other is a quieter bait from SOB Lures. And I have a couple of theirs, and they have really nice big profiles, which I love. But they can be super effective. And the colors I like really are black and white, sometimes a little chartreuse mixed in. But I promise if you take the time to learn it and really spend your time throwing it and finding out where it's going to work and what conditions it's going to work in, I guarantee it'll pay off. This was another shoalie in the 15 to 16 inch range, and here at the end of the day, the Flint was more than living up to the hype. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about today. It's something I try to do when I'm out. I know a lot of other guys do too. Now, I'm not a big soapbox guy, but the Flint is a gorgeous river. I mean, it's got gorgeous limestone bluffs, shoals. I mean, just everything a river fisherman would want, a kayaker would want. The only killer is that my boat's riding a little heavy today because I've had to pick up a bunch of garbage. When I'm out here, the phrase "we all live downstream" kind of reigns true. And it's frustrating to see that much trash in a river. I know there's a lot of people who fight really hard to keep this river as clean as they can. They pick up trash. They do every little thing possible, and this is all over the country in America's rivers. So please, if you're out on the river, if you're around the river, if you're in your backyard, wherever you are, just pick up after yourself, take your trash home. It's super easy to do, and do the wildlife and fish and everything else a favor. And keep nature as beautiful as you can. On day 2, Bill and I were headed for the upper Flint, and we actually met up with a friend of ours, Evan Howard, a guy who also loves river fishing, and he'd never fished the Flint before, so we were all super excited to see what it had in store for us. And much like the lower Flint, it didn't take long for us to get on the board. As you can probably tell by the way we're dressed and the fog on the water, the day started off really cool and warmed up fast, and it caused the GoPro lenses to fog up a bit, and so some of the footage from the morning wasn't that great, but this happened to be one of my better bites in the early going. Again, I apologize for the rough video. This shoal bass nailed a Lucky Craft gunfish topwater plug. Ended up measuring about 16.5 inches, and we were hoping that hot topwater bite would continue all day. Now, much as we had hoped, the topwater bite really did last through the majority of the morning. The problem was that a lot of the footage from the GoPros was just too dark to use, so a lot of the fish and the strikes we just couldn't put in this video. However, it finally did brighten up, and we all continued to get them on topwater, including this one that Evan caught on a Lucky Craft Sammy.
Yeah. You mind filming me for a second?
Yeah, go. Go for
it. I'm gonna hit this side.
That's just that side, that's that row up there. As you can hear, I was on filming duty, while these two continue to land fish on topwater baits.
Second day on the Flint River, guys. We got into some decent shoalies. This is a 15-incher. It meets the bass requirement for the length. Hit a topwater. We've been moving around through the shoals. We kind of been hitting the pools here and there, but we think we figured out a pattern, so let's see if we can go get some more. There you go.
Of course, the pattern we thought we were on totally died out when the sun got higher, and so we had to improvise, and through some trial and error we found out that flipping finesse worms was working great, and that's what we started doing, and the results were awesome. Shoal Bass! So this morning the topwater bite was hot, and since then our bites really cooled down. But over the course of the day we noticed that the fish are kind of wolf backed up and they seem to be in a bit of a post-spawn mode, a little lackadaisical. But we happened to float over a little patch. We floated past them and flipped some finesse worms back to them. I recorded with my biggest shoalie of the trip, about 17.5 inches. Another gorgeous fish that fights like crazy. Now, as usual, all our bass were caught and released, and the Shoal Bass Alliance is doing a ton to help protect the shoal bass and its habitat. Amazing work, and I really urge you to check them out.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
You know, the three of us had been in this little area for a few minutes, taking video, taking pictures, retying. And no sooner did we get all that done, I flip back to the same rock and catch another fish. And at this point, we're just having fun and enjoying our afternoon being knee-deep in the Flint River. And of course, episode 3 of the Bass Slam wouldn't be complete without a little bit of heartache.
Whoa! Dude, I need a net. Yeah, we do. Ah! That was a 6-pounder.
After that, we were all hoping we'd have another run-in with a huge fish, but it didn't happen. We did catch a lot more fish. Finally got to the takeout, loaded up our gear, and headed for Alabama.
Hey guys, we're ending our day here on the Flint River. Day 2, we're loading up the boats. What we wanted to do is just say thanks to Evan Howard here from Kayak Angler Southeast for doing the float with us. We ended up having a great day. We missed some big fish, caught tons and tons of fish, a couple different tactics that we'll go over later.
Just want to say thank you for having me up here. Had a great time with you guys and look forward to hitting the rivers again with you soon.
Cool.
Thanks.